It's not even the end of 2020 and we've already got some very solid leaks and rumors of the Samsung Galaxy S11. What's up guys, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and let's break all of these down SuperSaf style. Now, the biggest leak I would say has come from reputable leaker On Leaks in partnership with 91 Mobiles, and he's released lots of renders of the S11, and there's a few key things that stand out from these. Initially, if we look towards the front, we can see that the design is similar to what we've got on the S10 as well as the Note 10. Kind of looks like a love child between the two, and that's because although the shape looks a lot like the S10 with the curved edges, we do have the center punch out that we've seen on the Note 10. It looks like the bezels are going to be slightly smaller compared to what we had last year. And it is rumored that this year we should be getting a higher refresh rate up to 120 Hz. I would say this was the biggest criticism that we had on the Samsung flagship devices last year, that they didn't have a high refresh rate like some of the other competitors, such as the OnePlus devices. But it looks like this year Samsung is going to be either catching up or maybe even exceeding with a higher refresh rate, and I'm all for that. Now, if we look towards the back, this is where we've got quite a big design change. So although we're still likely to have a metal and glass sandwich with those curved glass panels both in the front and back, like we always see from Samsung, this time it looks like we're going to be getting a rectangular camera module. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about this as yet from the renders, but this does seem to be a trend that we've seen on smartphone designs. If we look at the Pixel as well as the iPhone, we've got a square camera module. With the S11s, it looks like we're going to be getting a rectangular camera module. Now, this is looking very likely because On Leaks is usually very accurate. And although these renders might not be exactly there, I would say they are 90% of the way there. And this is further confirmed with the recent releases of the Samsung Galaxy A51 as well as the A71, which both have this rectangular camera module. So it does look like Samsung is adopting this across the board. Now, whether you like the rectangular camera module or not, the good news is that we're going to have some big improvements in the way of cameras. Some rumors are saying that we're going to have up to 5 cameras here in this rectangular module. What are these cameras going to be? Well, traditionally Samsung has gone for a primary camera, a telephoto camera, an ultra wide. We also have a time of flight sensor on the Note 10 Plus, which measures depth information. So it's likely that we're going to have some form of combination of this. The 5th camera is still a bit of a question mark. Now, one of the biggest improvements that we're going to see with the cameras is with the primary camera, which is likely to have a 108 megapixel resolution. That is insane. Now, Samsung has recently launched a sensor, and we've seen it on the Xiaomi Mi Note 10. That has 108 megapixels, and it looks like Samsung is going to be improving this sensor for the S11s. And what does that mean? Well, it's going to mean lots of resolution, of course, which is going to mean sharper images. But I'm sure there's also going to be some sort of pixel binning going on, which is going to give you a low resolution, not the full 108 megapixels, but that's going to be able to capture more pixels on that sensor and give you much better images. I'm super excited for this. Now, for the ultra-wide camera, currently my favorite ultra-wide camera is on the Note 10 as well as on the S10. So it's great that we're also going to be seeing this on the S11s. But this year, it's also looking like we're going to get more zoom, up to 5 times optical zoom with periscope technology. So this is not new. We've seen this on some of the Huawei devices as well as some of the Oppo devices. And this is basically going to allow you to get in much closer to subjects. It's going to be much more advanced compared to the 2 times optical zoom that we've currently got on many Samsung devices. So those are the cameras. What about the internals? Well, we do know that the new S11s are going to be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset. We're potentially also going to be having Exynos variants, although there are some rumors that we might just be getting Qualcomm across the board, which I would definitely be for. And I was recently at the Qualcomm Snapdragon Tech Summit where they did announce lots of details of the 865, and as well as the general improvements such as 25% improvements over GPU performance, as well as 25% improvements over power efficiency. We did have some very interesting things which might make their way to the S11s, such as 8K video recording. Now, along with that very high resolution sensor, it looks like this would be very possible. as well as 960 frames a second continuous recording. So currently on the Samsung devices, we do have a 960 frames a second burst, so it's very, very short, but it looks like now we'll be able to have continuous slow motion recording at 960 frames a second, which will be absolutely dope. But in addition to that, we've also heard some rumors that we will be seeing a return of the Pro Video mode on the S11s. This is something that a lot of people have been asking for, so the ability to control lots of different settings when you're recording video. Now, also at the Snapdragon Summit, Qualcomm did announce the 3D Sonic Max. Now, this is their next generation ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, and this gives you a 17 times larger area for your fingerprints, which will make it much easier to unlock. But not only that, it also allows two fingers to be used at the same time, simultaneously. So this should make things a lot more secure. So for certain apps, if you do want to use both fingers, not just the one, you're going to be able to do that. This is very, very likely to come with the S11s. You're also going to be able to measure your heart rate with this very big 3D Sonic Max fingerprint sensor. Now, it's not all good news. If we do look around the renders, then you'll notice that there is no longer a 3.5mm jack. Now, honestly speaking, this was kind of expected. We didn't see it on the Samsung Galaxy Note devices, and it looks like it is definitely goodbye to the 3.5mm jack, and this is no longer going to be there on the S11s. The good news is, however, that Samsung should be releasing their new Galaxy Buds along with the S11, so the Galaxy Buds version 2. I've really enjoyed using the current Galaxy Buds, and the next generation are going to be an improvement. They should also have active noise cancellation, so I'm definitely looking forward to those. Now, what about the announcement and release date? Well, current rumors are pointing towards February the 18th for the announcement date, which does seem pretty likely considering Samsung's track record with the Samsung Galaxy S devices. They usually go for a week before MWC, and the 18th of Feb would make it a week before MWC. Samsung doesn't tend to have a big announcement at MWC along with everything else. They kind of go before that on their own exclusive event. So that is the date that you need to put into your diaries, and of course the device should be coming a couple of weeks afterwards. There are likely to be 3 devices once again, the S11, the S11 Plus, as well as the S11e. But that is currently all of the details that we have around the new Samsung Galaxy S11s. Of course, as we get more detailed info and pricing information, I'll be doing some updated videos. If you want to see all of that coverage first, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss anything. What do you guys think of the S11s based on these current leaks and rumors? Are you excited as much as I am? Definitely drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.